All right, so we're going to make the bottom bit of the daffodil. To do that, get your tin snips and go almost to the middle. Okay, there's a little space in the middle, that's the centre of your daffodil. Now we're going to have 6 petals, so at the moment we've got 2, so each of these needs to be divided into 3, so roughly now go from the centre of each petal and cut the edge. And then when you've done all 6 of them, turn the whole flower over and you'll be able to do the same thing cutting that way. And then when you've done that, you've got your flower, the back bit of the daffodil with the 6 petals, and you can either paint it white or yellow. So now we need to do the next bit, which is slightly more complicated. All right, to cut the centre of our little narcissi, I need a slightly smaller circle. So I'm going to trim some of this edge off. So use the lines that are already on it to help you make a smaller circle. And then you're not going to divide it into 6, you're going to divide it into 8. So you can do the same as you did with the petals. A rough one, that's fine, okay? And then you're going to cut it, obviously do it in halves first, then quarters, and then divide each quarter into 2, so you end up with 8 equal petals, like that. All right, now we've got 8, we need to get rid of 4 of them, so we're going to cut them down to make little points. So trim like that. If that's a little bit sharp, I would just trim the end off. Okay, and then you're going to do alternate ones, so there's 4 of them that are basically going to be out of the way, otherwise they're going to add too much bulk when we fold these up to make the trumpet for the daffodil. All right, so now we have this shape, looks like a ninja star. We're going to make the edges of these serrated. So the way I do it is I do 2 little cuts that way on all of them, and then I turn them over and do the same 2 cuts in that direction. And what you should get, making sure you don't, is a little serrated edge, and you want to do that on all 4 of them. All right, so I'm just painting these, and I'm going to do a yellow sunflower for this one with an orange centre. Haven't bothered cleaning my brushes in between, so I'm going to do a kind of goldy mix between these 2 paints, and then obviously leave that to dry. You're probably going to do a second coat, but get your first coat on, get it drying. These are all quick drying paints anyway, and you'll need to do both sides of the trumpet because you're going to see both the inside and the outside of it. All right, while we're waiting for our paint to dry, I'm going to show you how to bend up this middle bit to make a trumpet. It's very simple. Get the 4 little prongs up first. Now I'm using pliers. You can do this with your fingers. That's completely fine. I'm just doing it to save myself getting pricked with the little sharp edges. There you go. Hold that sideways, that's better, isn't it? Do that bit first, and then you do your flowers, your petal bits, and you should have a bit of a trumpet going on. Now we're going to fix it onto our flower, which means we're going to have to drill through the centre of the trumpet and fix it onto the back bit, which I'll show you with the unpainted bits, and then we'll go back to our painted bits. All right, so we're going to drill. I've put it on a piece of wood so we don't drill into the work surface, and then we're going to do one, and then next to it another hole. I'll just show you those 2 bits, and we're going to thread a piece of wire through that as well. Here we go with the wire. So it's just a thin piece of garden wire, and I'm going to thread it through. Kind of self-explanatory really. Pull that down and then put it through the two little holes on here, and then you're going to twist it at the back. This also gives you something to attach it if you want to attach it to a stick or to a screw, if you're screwing it directly to something, or to a wreath. I'm going to make these into a wreath, I think. I'm going to try. Now here's our little daffodil, and I think at this stage, even if you've already painted it, you're going to have to go over it and give it a second coat, because by the time you've drilled it and handled it and put the wire through it, some little bits may have rubbed off. And these tops of tins, the paint's it's quite difficult to get it to adhere because it's so shiny and strong. So then you're going to put another little coat of paint on it, and I'll show you what that looks like now. All right, so here we've got completed flower, yellow and orange. And then I had some tins that were white on the inside, so I just used those, and I did a yellow trumpet. And that's our little collection. I'm going to, try and put these on a wreath, ever so small, quite dainty little things. I think I'm going to try and put them on a wreath because they look really nice. And there you have it.